For more than 3 decades, the United States has remained the world's dominant air power. While many countries have developed advanced fighter jets and missile systems, none has matched America's ability to project air power almost anywhere on Earth. But this dominance isn't simply about having the most advanced aircraft. In reality, air superiority is built on an entire ecosystem that stretches far beyond the cockpit. A modern air campaign begins long before a fighter jet ever leaves the runway. Satellites monitor enemy movements, intelligence aircraft gather information, and military planners coordinate hundreds of moving pieces before the first mission even starts. When American aircraft take off, they rarely operate alone. Every fighter is supported by a network of tanker aircraft, airborne warning and control systems, electronic warfare platforms, transport aircraft, and surveillance assets. This network allows American pilots to see farther, communicate faster, and respond more effectively than many of their potential adversaries. One of the biggest advantages is aerial refueling. Tanker aircraft can dramatically extend the range of fighters and bombers, allowing them to remain in the air for hours or even travel across continents without landing. This means American aircraft are not limited by the distance between military bases and the battlefield. They can strike targets thousands of kilometers away while maintaining operational flexibility. Stealth technology is another critical advantage. Aircraft like the B-2 Spirit and the F-35 are designed to reduce their radar signature, making them significantly harder to detect and engage. Stealth, however, is not about becoming invisible. Instead, it delays detection, giving pilots valuable time to complete their missions before enemy defenses can react.
Electronic warfare further strengthens this advantage. Specialized aircraft and onboard systems can jam enemy radar, disrupt communications, confuse integrated air defense networks, and reduce the effectiveness of incoming missiles. Instead of relying on speed or firepower alone, modern air forces increasingly depend on controlling the electromagnetic spectrum to shape the battlefield before an enemy can respond. By degrading an opponent's ability to detect, track, and coordinate, electronic warfare creates critical windows of opportunity for stealth aircraft and strike packages. Even highly advanced air defense systems become far less effective when their sensors, communications, and targeting networks are disrupted, allowing friendly aircraft to penetrate defended airspace with a significantly lower risk of interception. Information has become just as important as firepower. Modern warfare depends on collecting, processing, and sharing enormous amounts of data in real time. Sensors, satellites, drones, and reconnaissance aircraft constantly feed information into command networks, allowing forces to detect threats and respond within seconds. The side that controls information often gains a decisive battlefield advantage. Faster intelligence enables more accurate strikes, stronger coordination between units, and quicker adaptation to changing conditions. In many conflicts today, victory depends not only on superior weapons, but also on who can see, understand, and act on information first. American military satellites form the invisible backbone of modern warfare. They provide global communications, precision navigation through GPS, weather forecasting, early missile warning, and real-time reconnaissance. These capabilities allow commanders to coordinate forces across continents, guide aircraft and missiles with remarkable accuracy, and monitor enemy movements around the clock. Without these space-based systems, modern air operations would become far more difficult. Pilots would face reduced navigational accuracy, long-range communications would be less reliable, and commanders would have limited awareness of the battlefield. Precision strikes would become less effective, response times would slow, and military forces would lose much of the coordination that gives them an advantage in high-intensity conflicts. Another often overlooked advantage is pilot training. American fighter pilots undergo years of intensive preparation, mastering air-to-air combat, precision strikes, electronic warfare, and complex mission planning long before entering real combat. This extensive training builds the experience and confidence needed to make rapid decisions under extreme pressure.
Beyond individual skills, the U.S. military regularly conducts large multinational exercises that closely replicate modern battlefield conditions. These drills allow pilots to operate alongside allied air forces while confronting realistic threats such as advanced air defenses, electronic jamming, and coordinated enemy aircraft, ensuring they are prepared for the challenges of high-intensity warfare. These exercises test not only individual flying skills, but also the effectiveness of command structures, logistics, intelligence sharing, and decision-making under pressure. Success in modern air warfare depends on far more than advanced aircraft. It requires seamless coordination between pilots, commanders, surveillance systems, refueling aircraft, and support units operating across multiple domains in real time. Experience further strengthens this advantage. Over several decades, the United States has conducted air operations in different regions under a wide range of combat conditions, providing valuable operational lessons that continuously refine tactics, planning, and coordination. Combined with frequent multinational exercises, this accumulated experience helps maintain a force that can adapt quickly to evolving threats while operating effectively alongside allied militaries. Industrial capacity provides another important advantage. American defense companies can design and manufacture advanced aircraft, powerful jet engines, sophisticated radar systems, precision-guided weapons, and complex software on a massive scale. This industrial base allows the United States to rapidly introduce new technologies while continuously improving existing platforms. Maintaining air superiority is not only about building advanced aircraft. It also requires a vast industrial network capable of producing spare parts, repairing battle-damaged equipment, upgrading systems, and sustaining thousands of aircraft over decades. In a prolonged conflict, this ability to keep fleets operational can be just as decisive as technological superiority itself. Logistics often determines the outcome of military operations. Fuel, ammunition, maintenance crews, replacement parts, and transportation networks all keep aircraft flying during prolonged conflicts. The United States has spent decades building military bases and logistical hubs across multiple continents, allowing forces to deploy rapidly when needed. This global logistics network provides a major strategic advantage that few countries can match. Aircraft can be refueled, repaired, and rearmed far from American territory, while supplies and personnel continue flowing across oceans with minimal disruption. In modern warfare, maintaining combat power over weeks or months often depends less on the aircraft themselves than on the vast logistical system supporting every mission. Alliances further multiply this capability. NATO members and regional partners provide additional airfields, intelligence, logistics, refueling, and operational support that dramatically extend America's ability to project air power across continents. Instead of relying solely on its own territory, the United States can launch, sustain, and coordinate missions from a vast network of allied bases positioned near potential conflict zones. As a result, American air operations are rarely conducted by a single nation alone. They often become highly coordinated multinational campaigns, integrating air forces, naval assets, intelligence networks, and command structures from multiple allies. This collective approach not only increases operational capacity, but also improves flexibility, resilience, and the speed at which military forces can respond to emerging crises anywhere in the world. Meanwhile, potential competitors have made remarkable progress. China has rapidly expanded its air force, fielded advanced stealth fighters, and invested heavily in long-range missile systems designed to challenge U.S. operations far from American shores. It has also strengthened its integrated air defense network, space capabilities, and electronic warfare systems, creating a more contested environment for any future conflict. Russia also possesses advanced combat aircraft, long-range strike capabilities, and some of the world's most sophisticated air defense systems. However, years of economic constraints, international sanctions, and significant battlefield losses have complicated its military modernization, making it more difficult to sustain the pace of technological upgrades and force expansion over the long term. These developments show that America's dominance is increasingly being contested. The gap remains significant, but it is no longer as wide as it once was.
China has rapidly expanded its stealth fighter fleet, invested heavily in long-range missile systems, and accelerated the development of next-generation combat aircraft. Russia, despite the setbacks of recent conflicts, continues to modernize key elements of its air force and air defense network. Together, these trends suggest that the era of uncontested American air superiority is gradually giving way to a more competitive strategic environment. Future conflicts are also changing. Artificial intelligence, autonomous drones, cyber warfare, and space-based capabilities are becoming central elements of modern air power. Success in future wars will depend not only on advanced fighter jets, but also on the ability to integrate sensors, data networks, electronic warfare, and unmanned systems into a single coordinated force. In this new era, air dominance will increasingly be determined by information, speed, and connectivity as much as by firepower alone. Winning tomorrow's wars may depend less on individual aircraft and more on how effectively entire networks operate together under extreme pressure. In many ways, the fighter jet itself is only the visible tip of a much larger military system. Behind every aircraft stands an enormous infrastructure of technology, industry, logistics, intelligence, and highly trained personnel. That is the true reason America continues to dominate the skies. Its advantage comes not from a single weapon or a single aircraft, but from the ability to integrate every part of the system into one highly coordinated force. As rivals continue investing in next-generation technologies, the race for air superiority is far from over. But for now, America's greatest strength isn't just what flies in the sky, it's the entire network that makes those aircraft so effective.